Hello and welcome to week 4 of Chillax League. I'm joined this week by Uberspoons.
Hello.
So we're going to look at the results from last week. Have a talk about a couple of the games because there are some quite interesting ones. We will do predictions as well. Obviously, have a look at that league table, and we'll also do a play of the week this week. So I've put together some interesting clips. So we'll go back and take a look at those. Before we get started, how was your week in terms of Blood Bowl? Just not in general.
I was going to say, in general, it was great. I finished the job. I finished my old role this week and going into a new one in Blood Bowl. Well, we'll talk about my week in Blood Bowl because I've only played one game this week, and we'll discuss that shortly. However, because I'm a fanboy and I subscribed to Warhammer Plus when it came out, my little £10 voucher dropped in via email today. So I bought a Snotling team yesterday in order to keep going with all of what I don't know what my obsession is with stunty teams. I don't have a single I do have a Chaos Dwarf team. I don't have a Dwarf team. I don't have any Elf teams, but I've got all of the stunty teams. So Snotlings may be the next thing for me.
It's probably to go with that huge pair of balls that you drag around everywhere, because obviously real men play stunties.
Oh, hell yeah.
Cool. Well, on a personal note then, congratulations on your new role as well. I know you said about that. I didn't know it was this week, so congrats on that, dude. And
cheers, man.
Yeah, I'll look forward to seeing your Snotlings on the tabletop. I'm sure you'll get them painted up in like half a day. To be fair, these are... I've actually had the kit. I ended up selling it because I'm an idiot. But I had the kit, and you can literally just dip them in the green contrast paint, and they're just done. There's very little detail on them. You just sorted. But yeah, there's definitely some cheese lists you can take a look at for for NAF events and stuff like that.
It's funny enough. I did order Morg. Well, I've already got Morg, and I may have accidentally ordered Hackflem last night.
Yeah, that's definitely the way to go. That's definitely the way to go. Cool. Well, I just realised I'm not screen sharing with you, so you don't know exactly where I am. So I'm just gonna go into the results. I'm gonna start talking about them.
Yeah, that's fine. Screw you. I don't want to see your moon face anyway.
We can risk me setting up the screen share, but for a moment you're gonna disappear off camera, and I don't think that would be the worst thing in the world, would it? Let's share my screen. Sorry guys, let's just get this sorted, because otherwise Matt's following along and he can't really see anything. Cool, and your face is back up. Can you see that, mate?
I can indeed. Yeah.
Lovely. That's how well organised I am. So we'll go into the league and let's have a look at some of the results. If we go to the schedule here, so we started off, and this was, quite frankly, probably one of the best games ever played of all time. The Cripsburg Steelers versus the High Times in P-Town. So that was my undead team.
Bias.
Yeah, a bit biased there. Against Jazz's Wood Elves. Now that's a 2-1 win for me. It should not have been. I thoroughly diced him, not just in like small areas, but in the majority of the game. He got multiple hits on my ball carrier and just sculled it every single time. I scummily took out his War Dancer as well. And I think that was the difference. I think if he had the War Dancer in the second half, he would have won. And despite the fact that I was 3-4 players up most of the game, I never actually felt safe with the ball. So Jazz, that was really well played, mate. I know that's your first season with Wood Elves. You deserve the win there. And at least deserved a draw, so I got very fortunate with that one.
You deserved the win, but you fucked him in the ass with his War Dancer, is what you're saying.
Yeah, I basically just scumbag fouled him. I GFI'd to foul him. That's and I invested a reroll because the GFI failed because I wanted to kick the War Dancer so hard.
Bad man.
It has to happen. Then we had the Onion Flaps. This is the Stonehorn Striders.
Oh, that's the Ogre off, wasn't it?
That was the Ogre off. I think one of the teams got bashed up. It might have been Big Floors. Big Floor took the win there. And that's really troubled me, actually, which we'll see why in a little while. But good result there. Obviously, Battlehawks got to most finals for this. Oh, well, actually, he's got 100% final attendance rate for Chillax, so he's obviously doing something right. So he's come a long way since I bumped into him in the CCL about a year ago, and obviously everyone
bumped into him in the CCL. Do you mean you found him at a glory hole?
Yes, that's exactly what happened. No,
okay.
I bumped into him and he was playing dwarfs and just he was so violent. I'm not sure he knew there was a ball on the pitch, but in terms of violence, just I've never seen anything like it. But his play style has got a lot better over the past. Not that I'm calling him bad or anything like that, but his play style has got significantly better over the past year.
I think I've experienced the violence. I think in the first season he was running dwarfs with a whole lot of pylon, and I think it was battle axe, but it was unpleasant.
Yeah,
he touched me in bad places.
That's it. It's like it's a double-edged sword because he's a nice guy and I enjoy chatting with him, but I hate playing him because you know that your team's going to lose like 200-300 TV. No matter what he's playing, he could be playing snotlings with no weapons and he'd still manage to cas all your players. Good result there obviously for Big Floor. Playing ogres early on is terrible. I know someone that had to play two of them. I actually think it's a horrible team to come up against in league play. CCL's not too bad because if it's getting rough you can just concede out of it, but in a league you kind of just have to take the shots, unfortunately.
I was so lucky in those first two games not to have lost anyone, particularly one of the Tomb Guardians, because they were getting a good beating by the ogres, but he just couldn't break the armor. That being said, I took a kill in the first game, but Regen pulled that one back for me. And other than that, I managed to sort of squeak through those two games with no cas. But it was a real concern that they were going to gut the core out of the team.
Yeah, they can. And people say that ogres are the worst team in the game. The only thing I'd say to them is you've not played them, because if you learn how to use them, they're actually pretty good. If you can factor in that sometimes your ogres aren't going to activate, they can be a really, really effective team.
Yeah,
I played them on Fumble on Thursday, and I was Chaos Renegades against ogres. The guy got something like 200k in inducements because of the new rules, although our team value was near enough the same. So he ends up with 17 players. I think 5 Noblars, which are 20k, I think. Is that right? 20k? Yeah. So he's got 5 Loner Noblars, which are essentially 20k bribes. And he had a chainsaw as well. And I did not have a team. I did not have a team by half time. And I was like, wow, this is horrific. Ogres early on in the season is just bad.
Yeah.
Then next up we've got the Congenital Hogwarts versus the Tin Town Rats. 3-0 to the Rats here. I'm shocked at that, to be honest. Not that Gridbug's not a good coach, but I know Crazy's a very good coach.
Yeah.
So he's had a rough start to the season so far. Maybe.
I'll assume that there was issues with actually getting a hold of the ball or picking it up for the Rats to have run 3-0.
Yeah, that's like a 2-0, 2-1, 1-0. I would have expected, but 3-0 is crazy to a coach of Crazy's standard, because he is very good. I'm very shocked at that. Very shocked. Next up, we've got Yet to Be Defined versus the Nagarath. I think that's how you say it. Shadow Warriors. So this is the Pro Elves versus Mr. Ben's Lizards. Unfortunately, we got family issues halfway through that game, so it had to sort of get cried off. On that, I just wanted to bring that point up, guys. We don't allow concedes in the league. However, real life does take precedent. So if it's a case of like your child is ill, I'm not expecting anyone to sit by a PC and finish out a game. If you concede because you rolled a 1 or a skull or your player got hurt, that's a completely different thing. So basically the lesson here is if you are conceding because you rolled crap, just tell me your child's ill and I'll let you get away with it. But not joking aside, family stuff first, definitely. I heard Joey was doing well in that game anyway. I didn't see it, but I heard he was doing well. Which I guess is nice for him because he got shit on last week.
I was going to say, he had a shit couple of the first couple of weeks were a bit fucking brutal, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. Next up, we've got Feeling Your Mummy and then the Rotting Dead Skins. So I'll tell you what, I'm going to hand over to you here because A, I'm very shocked about the result, and B, I'm also quite shocked about the result.
Well, what happened was Lee's actually not a bad coach. He's very experienced and has played a lot of games.
I played him week 1, and he practically ruined my team. So I know Lee's very good.
Yeah, it was close. I couldn't quite. Basically, I got fucked by ghouls. I hate ghouls. I know they're a threat piece. So he's running undead. So it's not even like it's Necro filthy undead. But I just could not tag his ghouls. Couldn't get a pow on them. Anytime I got near them and actually put a block on them, it was just he just dodged out of it. So he received first half, drove down the pitch really well. I thought I'd managed to get him cornered up, but the ghouls just slipped through and ran through for a score. At second half, I had the ball. I had a few blocks that didn't go well, but I was in a reasonable position to hoy the ball up the field. I think it was a 4+ pass, 3+ catch. But with a 6+ intercept in the middle of it, and the motherfucker rolled the 6 on the intercept.
That's rough.
Like a fucking prick. I mean, I like Lee. He's a very close friend of mine.
Hacker.
But at that point, I wanted him to get some sort of weird cock rot. And he just managed then to maintain possession of the ball and then get it to a ghoul who, again, just ran it down the bloody pitch, and I couldn't do anything. So... It by no means was it a dicing. By no means, I don't think either of us outplayed the other. But he was solid, and I probably threw a pass when I shouldn't have done. And that's
on
that.
Kemry,
then.
Is that right? You threw a pass on Kemry, and you were instantly punished.
I was. So fuck that shit. I'm not doing that again. But the nice thing is, again, it's another game where I've managed to skip through. And I haven't been hampered by whatever it is that causes additional casualties. Decay, thank you, couldn't think of the word. So I haven't suffered at the hands of decay. So I'm maintaining a full squad at the moment and managed to get some SPP, so threw in some extra upgrades. So the result was shit, but actually it wasn't horrific for my team.
Yeah, that was good run through there. Lee is a really good coach. I thought I got pretty lucky to get a draw against him, to be honest. I think either one of us could have won our week 1 game. But yeah, he seemed really solid when I played him. So the only reason I'm shocked is obviously because I rate you quite a lot as a coach. No homo. But I do
bit homo.
I do think you're pretty good. So I was shocked to see a 2-0 there. But good result for Lee. Good job, dude. Next up, we've got the Wieners versus the Zombies. Did you see that this morning?
No, I didn't. Unfortunately, I was doing adult shit and hoovering and cleaning and stuff, so I didn't get a chance to sit down and watch it. But interesting that it was a draw.
Yeah, it was a great game as well. So, first of all, the Wamvillains nearly took away Magic at the start of the game because he was upset that Vake had tactically purchased inducements. Which is totally fine. So, Crimea River Magic. So the Norse went in there like 10k down, I think. Or maybe even TV, I'm not quite sure. But they ended up purchasing a wizard, which they didn't use, interestingly.
Right.
I would have definitely turned 16s at a key player just for the...
Oh, yeah.
Just for the lols. But 1-1 draw. It was actually really entertaining. Both of them scored on their defensive drives, which was quite interesting.
Oh, cool.
Lots of early armor breaks for the Norse. The undead, I think, got not the undead. He wouldn't play undead. He had to go for Necro, didn't he?
Try hard.
Yeah, try hard. Try hard. Wait, what am I playing in this? Undead.
Yeah. What have I just signed up for in the other leagues I've just joined? Oh, Necro.
Oh yeah. Whoops. I picked dwarves and got smashed by goblins, so I don't know what that says about me, but Yeah, so I think it was a good game, to be honest. Skanks and Sorasses next versus Sirius United. Again, a really, really good game. I watched the majority of that and then I had to pop out. But yeah, so Crespo, he's a new coach, he's been playing under a year. Obviously, Iron, I think he's been playing a little while, but he's a pretty good Necro coach and he sticks to what he's good at, which a part of me is like, oh, you should go and experiment and stuff like that. And then the other part of me is like, why? If you're good with a race and you like it, just stick to it. There's no rule against taking the most unbalanced team in the game over and over again, is there? A
little bit of Necro rage.
So do you know what I like, right? I built a Necro team on Fumble this morning, and the new tabletop rules actually make them feel fair.
Yeah.
Because you can't take multiple ball carriers. If you want block, that's great. They don't have hands, but they've got other cool stuff, and they feel unique. So they've got their blitzers, their wraiths. They've got sidestep, foul appearance, block, no hands. So they actually feel like a unique piece, and it doesn't feel like you've just taken an undead team, upgraded,
and added some extra good bits.
And then added the best positional in the game. Just been like, and actually one's not enough. Let's give you two. And you can afford it all at the start as well, so you can just take everything. But now you can't. So I had one ball carry, which was a wolf. I had 2 flesh golems, 2 of the wraiths, and then a ton of zombies. And it was hard. Okay. And I think that's the wrong build. And I almost think you need to go ghoul heavy early on them now. Maybe 1 wraith, one wolf, or drop the 2 flesh golems early on. So then now they're not an out-of-the-box amazing team. They're a team that needs some development, and I think that's perfect. I know there's a lot of hate towards Games Workshop and any change that they do, even if it's just the colour of a dice, people would hate it. But like I like what they're doing. They're giving it all the teams their own sort of flavour. So yeah.
Yeah, definitely. You've got choices to make now with Necro, whereas it was, you could have all the toys before, but you've got to make some decisions now.
Yeah, there was one build, and everyone used the same build, and it just felt rough to play against. But what I'll be interested to see is, do all the Necro coaches, when the new edition comes in, do they stay with Necro, or do they transition on to the next easiest team in the game? That'll be interesting.
Yeah, very true.
So that is the roundup of the matches this week. Let's take a look at the leaderboard, see where everyone is. Oh, he's not technically at the top. I can live with this. Even though he is. We don't have ogres in the 1 spot, although technically this is all 1. So joint first, we've got I'm going to call him Deaton because that's his name on every. People just stick with one username. So Deaton, Big Floor, and Show Me Magic all in first position. So yeah, good effort from those guys there. Obviously, one's on a super try-hard team. The others are on more challenging. So obviously, Norse and Ogre's just amazing that he's. It does say the quality of the coach, that the fact that we're 3 weeks in now and he's 2 wins, 1 draw with Ogres. That's amazing.
That's some good going.
And then in second, I know this would be fourth, wouldn't it? Because you wouldn't count those. So fourth, we've got 1, 2, 3 coaches again. So Lee. Again, really, really good coach. I feel quite fortunate that I've got a draw against him now, seeing how his results have gone over the past couple of weeks. We have Crespo against Scott coming in. Again, really new player. He's had a lot of casualties early on, so really, really pleased to see him 5th. He's done really well. I know he's a bit upset today after his toys got broken, but he'll bounce back. I'm sure he will. He's a good coach. And then obviously Iron as well. Great result for him as well. Undefeated so far and doing pretty well. And then in joint 7th, we've got 3 teams as well. So you've got Joey with his Pro Elves. They're slowly starting to come back together. I swear they were like 6:30.
I think they were. I think they were 6:30 or 6:50 or something going into week 3. So he's done really well. Well, frankly, he's done really well not to just go, fuck this, I'm not playing anymore. Fuck you and your league.
Well,
he's had some good.
well, let's not pretend that didn't happen. But he
Well,
turned, but he turned up this week.
But he did turn up this week. He has shown some good resilience where others may well have actually walked,
Yes.
even though he was given that option. But he did turn up, so fair play for that, because it's not easy when you're 2 weeks in and you've been absolutely brutalised. So fair play. I don't think he should be on top of me in that little cluster of three, though, because I'm nicer. I think I should be the top of that little group of three. Certainly, I like being on top of you.
Yeah, I think it's about fair. I mean, we're all the same position, right? Then obviously we've got you in it below with your Kemri. Now I've got to ask, feeling your mummy, where did you get that team name from?
My fetid imagination. I just thought
it might have been a reference towards my mum, based on the last time you saw her.
I have met your mum. She's a damn handsome woman, and so you could call me Daddy. No, that's weird. Don't do that.
That's where I get it from. That's where I got all the looks from.
Yeah.
Anyway, Dad, I'm next. So with my undead is starting to recover, and I'm starting to get the hang of the playstyle as well. I know last week I was a bit down about it. It's just out of frustration, and I've not had any games where I feel like I've been diced, which is nice. But I've had plenty of games where I've realised that I'm not as good as I thought I was, and especially around like defense, I seem to be okay. It's just like offensive structures. I'm not great at making that sort of initial break into the enemy half without a couple of casualties. So I need to work on that, but I'm sure I'll get it fixed over the next couple of weeks. It just feels a bit odd with the undead roster. If only I had like multiple movement 8 pieces, so I could just, it didn't really matter where I was. I could just get to the other side of the pitch instantly. That'd be pretty good.
You're so bitter.
Saying that, I am probably going to order a Necro team at some point. Then we had...
I've got 2.
Then we had Gridbug, and picks up his first win of the season, and it was a huge one. So congrats there, dude. You're in at 10th. And again, joint 10th. We've got 3 people in here. Jazz, again, he picked up his second loss, although it was undeserved. He should probably be 1-1-1. And then we've got Mr. Ben. Bit of a rough start to the season. I know he's had quite the lizard teams. The lizard teams seem to be struggling to retain their Sauruses, and I don't know if that's just bad luck or if that always happens with lizards. I know I always struggle when I play lizards. I always tend to lose a Saurus in the first couple of games. I guess it's what you're just throwing them in, aren't you? And eventually, after so many blocks, you are going to start losing them.
Yeah, I mean, you're playing a percentage game all the time, and you've got to be really lucky to not, because they are the core of the team, really. And it's great. You've got these 6 strength 5 pieces, but there's no block on them. They start 0 skills, so they are vulnerable to kind of things like Mighty Blow. They're vulnerable to block. They're vulnerable to all wrestle and all of those things. And sooner or later, the dice are just going to bite you in the ass.
Yeah, they're shit Chaos Warriors, really, aren't they?
Yeah, absolutely.
And Chaos Warriors aren't good to start with. The only good stat line they have is the 4 in the strength, but I don't think they develop as well as Chaos Warriors either. But
no,
I think they're the core of your team, but they're not the stars. The stars are the skinks.
Yeah.
And then in joint 13th, really really shocked here actually. Crazy on his Dark Elves, and obviously Battlehawk on his Ogres. Battlehawk, I think, has decided that he wants to let someone else go to the finals this season, so appreciate that, mate, leaving some room for the rest of us. But yeah, I'm shocked to see those 2 coaches at the bottom, because they're both very good. And I'm sure, like I say, it's a long league. Actually, this is, in terms of games, this will be probably one of the longer ones I've put together. Usually it's about 8 and then playoffs, but I think this is like 13 or something like that. It's a bit too much.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
No, I like it. I like having the longer league. It gives some opportunity for some good team development. There, as we were just saying, there are some teams that really struggle early on. I would suggest Lizards are one of those that struggle early on. But if they can harvest some SPP, get some block or some Mighty Blow on the Saurus, then second half of the season they become a much more formidable team. So I think having that slightly longer duration allows some of the races to shine more than perhaps they would in a shorter league.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think we've got a good core of coaches as well that
Yeah,
do stick leagues out and don't drop out.
yeah,
You know, I other leagues you'll have
best.
three or four dropouts in a season. I think we'll probably get one, if we get one at all.
Yeah, we're watching you, Joey.
Thanks for saying that. No, but it definitely will. It definitely will be Joey. But joking aside, I love doing these like developed leagues. I think one of the problems you get with Eternal leagues is if you've got players that just go pour in all on that Claw Mighty Blow piling on,
Yeah,
it just becomes like a fun sponge for everyone else
yeah,
in here. I'm really happy to see that we've got an Eternal league going. We've got, there's nothing wrong with taking a Chaos team or a Nurgle team, and there's nothing wrong with having one or two killers. It's when every single player has it. There's no other sort of team expression, there's no other skill expression. I might change to Chaos next year, and if I do, I'm not just going to rush Claw Mighty on every single player. I'll have Tentacles, I'll have Prehensile Tail on some pieces, I'll develop different positionals to make it interesting. But I think we've got a sensible group of coaches, and I don't think we've got any power gamers.
No.
And that's usually where you get it from. You'll get someone pick Chorse, get Claw Mighty as soon as they can, and then just ruin the league for everyone else. So I'm glad.
All right, so I won't do that next season. Screw you.
I think we've got a responsible group of coaches that are not not just invested in their own fun when they sit down to play a game. That it's a group event at the end of the day. So. Yeah.
Yep, and as I say, just to reiterate that longer season, both this season, but potentially if you want to swap out into next season, just gives you the opportunity to almost develop that little bit of narrative to the team. Also, but because of the whole mentality that this league has, you're absolutely right. There isn't that need to kind of stomp on each other. It's you obviously you play to win, but it's no hard licks if some bastard 6+ intercept happens and ruins your whole life. It's all fine. I'm not bitter about it, and I'm sure I'm not going to shit through Lee's letterbox anytime soon.
Well, if you are going to do that, let me know, because I think I owe him one from our week 1 game as well. But yeah, no. Now that I've done blowing the entire league at once, let's take a look at the matchups. Me and Uber are going to do some predictions. So we'll look at the teams, look at some of their development, and then we'll make our picks based on that. Which means I'm actually going to start giving my real predictions and not just trying to be nice because it's now a competition. So we've got the Cripsburg Steelers versus the Skanks and Sore Asses. Do you have like a pen and paper next to you, or something you can just make notes on? Just I don't want to keep swapping applications while we're doing this.
One moment, caller, because we're well organised and stuff. Give me 2 secs. 2 secs.
Cheers, mate.
I knew exactly where the things were that I needed.
Nice. Okay, yeah. So what we'll do predictions. We'll do win-loss draw. Obviously, I don't think we're going to do scores, but we'll keep it at that. And then at the end of the season, the one that loses has to buy me a Games Workshop team.
Seems fair.
Yeah. No, I'm joking.
Because I need a new team, and I'm obviously going to win.
Yeah. Didn't hear what I said, but that's fine. So we'll go to Cripsburg Steelers first of all. Let's take a look at the team. I've got 80k in the bank. Bank is going to be important. I just keep getting my MVPs on fucking zombies. 3 games now, 3 zombie MVPs. Now 2 of them I've actually leveled up and got block on both, and that actually played a key part in the game last week, so it was really useful. I've got 2 bench as well, which is pretty nice. These 2 players.
The block gives you a fairly resilient scrimmage line, I guess.
Definitely. But these 2 pieces, this 80k I spent before, that would have won me the game. And I know CCL, everyone's like, I need to cut my team down to be completely leagues don't work like that. And if you take like a CCL mentality into a league, you'll end up just getting crushed and really disappointed. Like, it's a long attritional league. You need bench. Even if you're bloody elves, if you can afford to take a spare player, being able to field 11 players in the second half will win you games. Especially if there's lots of, Mighty Blow and stuff like that coming through. I've got this AV8 mummy, which is a bit of a concern, so I'll need to protect him a little bit. And I'm thinking, if I get enough cash, I need 40k, I need 4 in the winnings. I'm thinking I might replace him next game.
Because there's no SPP on him, is there? So there's no investment in him at the moment. So
I'll be honest, even if there was 5 SPP on him, I'd still consider swapping him out. The only thing that would stop that is if I level up next game and I end up rolling block, I'd keep him. But I think, again, this is the thing with leagues as well. You can afford stat bus as long as it's not... Like, that seems bad, but it's strength 5, so he's not going to get knocked down that much unless someone's red dicing him and hoping to get lucky. I've finally got a blodge ball carrier, which I think is going to be important in this game. From where I was week 1 and I was all down in the dumps, I think it's been a good recovery. Let's look at the skanks, or what's left of them. Okay. So...
shit.
Yeah, oh shit. Yeah. 10k in the bank. So there's going to be no surprises here. He's going to have another 60k. A skink 60k?
Yeah.
What the fuck? So he's going to have another one of those that's going to take him to 180. To my 180, what's mine? 130. So he's going to get a babe, basically.
Yeah.
Shouldn't be in the world. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, okay. I think he's just bought a Saurus. That might be it.
Yeah.
So I think he just lost one. So he's bought one. He's got this guy here. It's a stat bust. Is it a niggle as well, or just?
No, it's just a movement.
There's a niggle on this guy though. No, there's not. There's just minus injury. I'm getting used to fumble now. So yeah, a couple of minus movements. We've got a level up here. He's not taken that yet, and then we'll have stand-in skink.
Yeah.
Oh god, I was kind of hoping he didn't have enough money to buy another Saurus. That would have been great. But yeah, he doesn't have much here, and I know that inducements are designed to sort of level the playing field. I don't think a babe is gonna level it.
No. No, I'd agree.
So, not to be a douchebag here, my prediction, I'm going to say a 2-0. He could score, could be 2-1, I'm going to say 2.
I was going to go 2-1, but to you, to the Steelers. I think he may well get scored. Skinks, if they can get past the line of scrimmage, they are slippery little fuckers to get hold of.
I've got no tackle, to be fair.
Yeah. But similarly, your blodging ghoul will be a real difficult thing to take down because, once it's past the lizards, past the Saurus, he'll just be playing catch up. So yeah, I think 2-1 to the Steelers.
And I've also got 2 free bribes as well. So, sorry, zombies. So I'll be able to pin down. I might be able to take out a Saurus, or do you know what? I might just try and take out the skinks because if he's got 6 Saurus and a Crocs left at the end of the game, he's not going to win it.
No, that's always my tactic when I'm playing something like lizards is target the ball carriers, particularly lizards. Just if you can take the skinks out of the game, then they've got nothing. Yeah,
absolutely. Okay, next up you've got Sirius United versus the Wieners. So let's check out Sirius first. So this is 11-20 with 150k in the bank. So that might be important. He's got a Dodge Wolf, and he's got 2 subs as well, so looks like the undead teams are going sub-heavy. I guess they're so cheap, though, aren't they?
Yeah.
They're so cheap. I've got 2 zombies for practically the cost of his reserve skink, which is pretty crazy, actually. And he was against the Wieners. And these are 870.
Oh, look at that.
Okay, so there's 3 level ups. The Yeti level up could be a big one.
Yeah.
It depends what these get. He's got 50k, so he can't replace this player. So he'll be, what will he be at? 920. So he's going to get 200 in inducements. So you could argue he might even be able to bring a star player for that. And I think, in general, I think you get better value from a star player. Because Wizard is good, right? But Wizard is really good against slow teams where you're going to pressure them to score. If you've got a Wizard against like your team that's got multiple movement 8 players, it's like, that's fine, I'll just run it in before you're expecting it. So it's hard to predict. So I've got a feeling he'll bring... Oh, he's down a Berserker as well.
Yeah, his Berserker is out and miss a game. So,
it's actually 100k of inducements, actually. So 970, so it's not that big a gap.
No, I think he's in trouble, if I'm honest.
Yeah. I'll let you do the prediction first on this one.
I'm going to go 2-0 to Sirius.
Yeah, I'm gonna pick Deaton here. I'm not gonna pick a score. Do you know what? I'm gonna pick a draw.
Okay.
Deaton's a really good coach.
Yeah.
He's not that well known, and I'm not sure why. Because he plays in quite a few leagues, but he's very, very good. I think if he played more, like CCL and stuff like that, a lot of people would know him. But yeah, he's a solid coach. Then we've got yourself versus Magic. So let's look at Magic's team first of all. 1100. He's got 120 in the bank. He's got a couple of level ups. So he's got a white, which I'm going to assume is going to be Mighty Blow. And then you've got a Ghoul, which you've got to assume is going to be Block. So you've got a Blodge, Runner, and a Mighty Blow there. He might go guard. I don't think it's good in your matchup because you're just going to out-strengthen massively anyway.
Yeah.
So, even his Flesh Golems, which are usually his strong point, will be just smacked around, I think. And let's take a look at your team. Is it the same TV? No, you're 20 up. You're 20 up.
Yeah.
So he might do some underspend to prove a point. But wow, okay, this is looking nice.
Yeah, it's coming along quite nicely. I've not done too badly on the upgrade. So I took Strip Ball on the Blitzer. I've had issues with the amount of dodge and stuff that's been going on. So I thought, you know what, a Strip Ball sweeper might not be a bad shout. I've kind of done the Ogres, so I know there are still a couple of more Bash teams. There's a few Edge teams coming up that, and the experience with the Ghouls as well, kind of made me go for the Strip Ball. And I've managed to get a couple of Mighty Blow in on a couple of Tomb Guardians. So it's coming together. There's the potential that there'll be a couple of other level ups maybe coming out of the back of this match.
Oh, yeah.
I still don't think I'll win. I'm thinking I'll probably lose 2-1.
Okay, I don't know. I'm going to predict a draw. No, that's lame. I'm not going to do that every round. I'm going to say you're going to win that one. I think the RNG gods are going to be kind with your Mighty Blow, and Magic's regens always fail. So I think you might be able to get players up. I'm going to say 1-0. I'm going to say 1-0 win there. Okay, so we've got Rotting Deadskins versus Yet to be Defined. So this is Lee versus Mr. Ben. So let's take a look at Lee. There we go. It's the fish. It's a cool logo, by the way. Wow. Okay, this is really coming along. So
yeah, it's shaped up really nicely.
His mummies, just like mine, they're just not getting much SPP, which is really frustrating because you're like, the players with the Mighty Blow, this is going to do loads. It's great for KOs. Let's put it like that. He's got no SPP on his whites, which is quite interesting. Again, they're your main sort of secondary hitting pieces, and he's not getting. I guess it just shows that he's not really getting removals. That 2 SPP there is the minus armor on my fucking mummy, so I know exactly where he got those 2 points from. But he now has an Edgefall Ghoul, and that
Edgefall Ghoul is
a problem.
Yeah.
Edge 4 in general is just broken. Is that pass? Okay.
Yes, it is.
So he's got... Yeah, this is quite cool. So he's got like a ball retriever and he's got a receiver, which you don't really see a passing game in Undead. But to be fair, pass over Edge 4, I think it actually works out about the same. It's better to have the higher dice roll with the reroll built in than it is to have the lower one. So, yeah, I think that's quite cool. I might watch his game next week just to see how he uses them. He's got a ton of zombies, and one thing I did notice about these, he takes skeletons as well. Now, I'm not sure... I know they're faster, but I personally don't like AV7, so I'm interested why he's taking those. I might actually drop him a DM and just ask him to explain the choice.
I think he quite likes them, and I'm sure if he listens to this, he'll tell me that it's bullshit and that I'm wrong. But I think he quite likes them because that extra space means that you can just put them and put tackle zones into places and block off running lanes and stuff like that. And certainly I know from the conversation we had sort of after our game that the idea with, I mean, obviously the Edge 4 ghoul speaks for itself. It's just, I hate ghouls. I hate them. But having pass just gives that other threat axis as well, because obviously traditionally they're quite a runny team. You know, you don't see a passing game from them, but it just gives you another element there that you have to. It almost forces you to hold something back in the deep, and to try and man mark that Edge 4 ghoul, which is it's next to impossible anyway, just because. You're almost then faking the pass, and your ball carrier ghoul will go the other way. But you then got your Edge 4 ghoul being a distraction piece, just pulling your team in different directions. So, I'm seeing Lee kind of fairly comfortably doing well with the way his team's shaping up.
Yeah, I mean, it's nice to see people not just following the standard builds every single time. Like, it's nice to see things not just going Mighty Blow, piling on, tackle. Not that you do that on a ghoul, but just in general. And I like that the speed he's building into the team. When you think you're playing Undead, you're like, right, I've got a horrid front line to get through, and then once I get to the sidelines, I've kind of got it. And against my team, that's probably right. You know, you want to get my slow guys caught up and then run round them. But there's so much speed in this. Well, speed compared to a normal Undead team. That's a craft knife, by the way. Just twiddling a knife while I'm talking. But yeah, there's so much speed in this that they don't actually, to me, feel like an Undead team anymore. It's like a...
There's almost hints of Necro in the fact that there are those multiple threat pieces there, and he was unlucky with the Whites. The Whites put in plenty of work throwing blocks against me. And they put a lot of people on the floor, just couldn't convert it into a casualty. So it's not that they're not getting used, and they're getting used like a White would normally get used, kind of a bit of a cornerback piece that allows you to swing in on the flanks and offer a bit of threat to the cage and to the ball carrier. But I like what he's doing with it.
Yeah, me too. It's nice to see some fresh ideas. And right, he's playing Yet to Be Defined. I think they had a bit of a rough game. Let's take a look. Okay. Yeah, 2 strength 3 Sauruses.
Shit.
And nothing to replace them with. Oh,
yeah.
God. That's rough. That's really rough.
That's really tough because you're looking at 2 journeyman skinks in there as well. He's only got 2 re-rolls anyway. That's going to be brutal, I feel.
I think those players, right, when they come back, he's going to be able to replace one of them. I think you keep the other one around. So I think you fire off one, buy back the strength 4, obviously. And then I think you keep the other piece around and just use it to take hits. Because strength 3 isn't bad. It's not like you've gone from 3 to 2. You've gone from 4 to 3, and it's on a fast piece. So it's still going to offer some value. So, like, blitzes down the sideline or something like that. Although you probably wouldn't use it for that. It's probably just going to get sat on the line of scrimmage until it's dead. But it's still usable, especially actually with the guard crocs.
As I say, that's what I was looking at. Is I would just stick him next to the guard crocs in that sort of centre area of the line of scrimmage, and that frees up one of the undamaged Saurus to do what you were talking about that sort of that more of a threat piece.
Yeah.
Because as you say, strength 3 is not bad, but if it's buddied up with a bit of guard off the crocs, then he should be fine.
Yeah, it's workable. I'll let you make a prediction here first.
Sorry, lizards. I'm going 3-0 to Lee.
I'll go 2-0. I think 3-0 is a bit much, but I think 2-0 for sure. Next up, we've got the Shadow Warriors versus the Congenital Hog Wars. So let's look at Joey's team to start with. Remember, this was in tatters last week.
Yeah.
We were giggling about it. Is it here? Yeah. 950.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, it looks like an elf team now.
Yeah.
Okay. So strength AV bust on him is brutal, but strength 4 again. As long as you're not sticking him to take hits, the strength 4 is going to provide a layer of protection that AV7 wouldn't. So you could probably keep him around for a while. He's going to be useful for blitzing gaps in defenses. He's got a level up on a catch here. I think he's recovered perfectly. I think his team is in good shape to compete.
Yeah, I would agree. Yeah, that additional strength that would be my lineman that, if you like, is just the second line just behind the line of scrimmage that can, as you say, add into some blitzes or sort of sweep round and plug gaps, or potentially bang into the corner of a cage.
Yeah, there's definitely uses for that guy. It's a nice team. It sucks he's lost a blitzer, but I don't know. Mm-hmm. Strength 4 on elves seems really good.
Yeah.
And who was he against? He was against the Hogwarts.
Warts. Yeah.
So, the team's good.
Yeah.
See, I was expecting this to be in much worse shape, considering the results he's had, but it's coming along nicely. He's got Mighty Blow, he's got Blodge, he's got Dodge, he's got, is that Sure Hands at the bottom there?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean it's not remarkable, but it's
100k.
It's steady. As I say, 100k. I would be wanting another reroll fairly soon, I think.
Yeah, reroll or a sub. One of the two.
I'd take, if it was me, I'd be going reroll ahead of sub. I think that the way that team is shaping up, I know, with they can be brittle, but they're AV8, so they should be all right. For me, that extra reroll would be the way to go, but each to their own.
Yeah. Did they get? Yeah, so he's rolled a double on that as well, so that's fairly fortunate. And maybe that came last game. We didn't have it for last game. I'm actually going to predict on that one. I'm going to say... it's so hard because Joey's really good. I'm going to say Joey 3-2. I think it's going to be a crazy game. I've seen the way Joey plays. He doesn't stall out. He doesn't go for 2-1s. And every game's loads of touchdowns. I've seen him in other leagues as well. So, yeah, I'm going to say...
Yeah, I think 2-2 draw.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Okay. Tin Town Rats versus Onion Flaps. So let's take a look at the Rats first of all. So these guys picked up their first win of this season.
Yeah.
Just picked up a Rat Ogre, which will be interesting to see if it survives this. 2 tackle Storm Vermin, so going heavily into tackle, which actually for this matchup is going to be pretty good.
It's perfect, a perfect skill set to go up against the ogres, isn't it?
He's got a Blodge
and Gutter Runner. There's your ball carrier.
Yeah, and a Wrestle Gut Runner as well. 2 throwers, which is very, very strange. He's barely got any linemen, which makes me think that Rat Ogre is going to get put on the line of scrimmage and probably destroyed turn 1.
Yeah, it's going to be a problem against ogres because he's not going to be the biggest, hardest thing on the park. So, but he has got an Apo,
Yeah, yeah.
so the Apo might save the day.
Yeah, that's a good point. Let's have a look at Big Floor now. Oh, shit.
Oh, bloody hell. Now that changes things.
Yeah, holy shit. 2 ogres out. So the minus agility you don't give a shit about.
No.
Minus armor, yes. But it's on a break
Yeah.
tackle piece. So you don't have to keep him on the line. So I'd probably keep that player around.
Yeah.
So he is going to be down to 10 players. So it means he's going to have an extra Noblar. But he's only going to have 3 ogres for next week.
Yeah.
That's rough.
Yeah. Only 2 rerolls. No Apo in there either. Oof, that's tough. That's going to be tough against the rats with those storm vermin as well, because they're just going to pick the Noblars off.
Yeah, I find it so hard to pick against Big Floor though, because he just beats me or gets draws every single time I play him.
Yeah.
But I think in this one, team difference is going to massively play in. So I'm gonna say 4-0 for the Skaven. Let's go for that.
I was going to go 4-1 actually. I think the rats will run amok, but I suspect he's good enough to be able to squeeze one out there.
Yeah, probably.
He might throw someone in for a touchdown. You never know.
The thing is, though, he might not have ogres left by the second half. If the rat ogre removes one early and it's just 2 of them left, he just might not have a team by turn 9.
Yeah.
Okay, that takes us to our final game of the week, the Stonehorn Striders versus High Times. So let's take a look at those. So this is Hawk. So they lost the battle, but they might have won the war. And taking block on an ogre straight away, that's good. That's a good start.
Yeah.
That's a nice ogre team. He's got plenty of subs, or fouls, or however you want to say. He's got an Apotho. He's got a couple of rerolls.
And a good spread of SBP against the ogres that haven't already been upgraded as well.
Yeah.
So you'd likely see at least one of those will probably get an upgrade, possibly 2, depending on how it goes with Kaz.
Yeah, you'd think, but I didn't get a single Kaz with my Mighty Blow against the AV7. All game, 3 dice in, all game, nothing. I'm not bitter.
Sound a little bit bitter.
I'm a little bit bitter. So High Times, let's bring it up. So again, he managed to somehow buy a tree back in one fucking game. I've never seen that happen before. He loses his tree game 1. Game 3, he's got a brand new one. He must have just double 6 the winnings. There's no other way. There's no other way. He double 6 the winnings. So he's got a War Dancer with Strip Ball. We're gonna see a little play of him very shortly. You've got your tree, you've got a wrestle catcher, a few linemen. Oh, I must have got a Kaz. So he's going to have a loner liner. He'll be down in TV by just over 100. So 100. So he could actually, if he spends his 20k, he can actually bring out a wizard in this. Thoughts? I'll let you go first.
It's going to be tough for the elves, I think. I'm going 2-1 ogres.
Yeah. I'm gonna pick Jazz. I'm gonna pick 2-1 for the Woodies. Skill wise, I was really impressed with Jazz, considering he's only really played orcs and undead before this season. The amount of pressure he was able to make.
I just see with those ogres, it just takes a couple of decent die rolls early doors to inflict some Kaz, and then you're going to struggle to be able to come back from it. I think, to be honest, a lot of it will be on who wins the toss.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And if the dancer can stay alive, if the dancer stays on the pitch, then you can just run.
Then you've got a chance.
Yeah. You can just run past, and And the ogres, as well as, as strong as they are, he does need to pow. And, likelihood he'll be 3 dice in, but still, it's not guaranteed, is it?
No, of course not. And you're always at the mercy of a couple of turns where you just roll multiple boneheads as well, which just completely wrong foot you, particularly against a mobile team, because all of a sudden, where you had them nicely boxed in, or you had them in a position where you they were going to struggle to get past you, a couple of boneheads in the wrong place, and all of a sudden they're through and past, and then you're just desperately trying to catch up with Noblars.
Yeah, definitely. Sidestep might come into play. I always forget about that when I'm playing Noblars. Sometimes it's better not to hit them and dodge away than try and go through the hassle of cutting through them. But yeah, we'll see on that. So we'll come back, and we'll come back next week. We'll look at the. I don't think we'll go through all the predictions again. We might just have a little score counter at the bottom that we can show up on there.
Yeah. I'll keep track of those as the results come in, and we can have a who was right and who was wrong, and who was the best beard of the two of us.
I think you're winning that pretty harshly at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
You've got, first of all, like, my grey's not coming through as much. It is at the bottom. It's starting, but it's not as
well developed.
Yeah, not as well developed as yours. But yeah, no, pretty cool. So first off, thanks for Uber for jumping in on this. Hopefully we're going to make this a regular thing. It's been much more fun doing this with a second voice.
Yeah.
We're going to leave you now. There's going to be 2 clips. I'm going to try and do 3 for future weeks, but just didn't have enough time this week. So we're going to do a vote for Play of the Week. So if you could, in the comments, put down which you think was the better play. Obviously, if you've not, like and subscribe, and then we will leave you with that. Have fun, guys, and see you all next week.
Yeah, and if you have some stinky best plays, just let us know, and we'll be able to pull them out of your game, hopefully. So if you are some filthy war dancer fowler and you want the world to know about it, just let us know. Ping us and let us know.
Brilliant. Cheers, guys. Have a good day.